Hello, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, brought to you on Twitch, taped live at the Twitch, and available on YouTube, on Spotify, and Google and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watched a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling in the happy spooky week.
It is Spooky Week. If you are watching the video version of this podcast, we are in costume tonight.
Yeah.
David putting significantly more effort into this than me, who just went to a spirit Halloween.
Look, the only real effort I put into this was dropping $160 on a leather Waluigi head a few years ago. Okay. That's the extent of my effort. All the rest is just kind of like I have this shit lying around.
Fair. Meanwhile, I am bringing this podcast to Flavor Town.
Yeah. Austin's got the best Guy Fieri cosplay I've ever seen.
At least I have the hair and the wig. But tonight we are driving down the road to Flavor Town, or should I say Slam Town, because we're watching some wrestling here tonight.
Yeah.
Specifically, we are driving down to Boyle Heights, California for Lucha Underground.
Woohoo! My favorite show.
Yep. Maybe there'll be some murders tonight. Really fit the Halloween theme.
Ooh, oh yeah, they do permadeath on Lucha. You never know.
Mm-hmm. They do. I'm gonna take this mask, this goatee off because it's falling off my face.
That's totally fine. You got a goatee anyway. Close enough. We get the gist.
Yeah, and we already did the bit where to make sure the people know.
The people. You people.
Yeah. So Lucha Underground last time was a 2 title matches, and we were kind of not into either one.
Yeah. Both of them. I mean, they weren't bad matches. They just weren't they didn't reach the usual heights of what we enjoy from our luchador friends over in Boyle Heights.
Right. So to cover our plot points from the last time we were here, we had Angelico versus Son of Havoc, and
best match of the episode.
It was Son of Havoc's big triumphant babyface turn moment.
Yes.
Where he dumped Ivelisse mid-match and then he won.
Simple as that. But simple as it sounds, the moment was just incredible. One of the best face turns I've ever seen. Where he stares down his ex and gives one final fuck you, and then
yep, it's pretty sweet. We also Son of Havoc is a strong, independent luchador who don't need no woman.
No Ivelisse, no.
Nope. So that match. Then we had the AAA title match between Alberto El Patron, who is still not in prison, against Tejano in a bull rope match that we both felt was weirdly non-aggressive and violent for a match that is a bull rope match.
Yeah. A bull rope match on between two bitter rivals on Lucha Underground. What?
Yeah, it should have been great, but it was just kind of there.
Yeah, that was disappointing. I still can't believe I just would have thought that would have gone to such heights for so many reasons, but it just kind of felt eh.
You thought it might go to such Boyle heights, and
neither of those motherfuckers even bled. Blading squicks me out, but I thought for sure this was gonna get crazy. But it just kind of felt like standard fare.
Distinct lack of blood in 2 hardcore blood feud matches.
Yeah, seriously. Whatever.
Yeah, Del Rio El Patron. Sorry, I don't want to.
Oh yeah, no dead naming here.
Yes, El Patron. He won the match. He kept the AAA Mega title, whatever. And then we had the introduction of Hernandez to the Temple.
Yeah, he's a dude who's worked with Conan before, and he was there to watch the match.
Yeah, he was also there to help pick a fight with Cage so that Prince Puma could beat Cage in a Boyle Heights street fight.
Yeah. I will say, Talking about the street fight aspect reminds me of, like, when you first brought up the street fight aspect, I was talking about, like, you know, was this a demand of Conan's? Was this a demand of Puma's? Where does this come from? Is this like a big kind of Puma finally reaching a breaking point and saying, okay, fine, we'll do this the hard way and I'll play along? But like it didn't really play up to that. And I gotta say, like, I am getting a little tired of the complete character stagnation from Puma. He's just kind of there. And like for being the person who is effectively Lucha Underground's pro tag, he doesn't talk. He doesn't display that many distinct character traits. He's just kind of there to do his thing, and I wish I could see more character growth from him.
Yeah. I don't have any positive news for you in the nearest future, so
oh dear.
Sorry.
Oh, damn it. Well, whatever.
But I think our my first main takeaway of that match was Brian Cage picked up the old idiot ball.
Yeah.
And just stopped attacking Puma for no real reason, just so Puma could recover.
That's a problem with creating like characters as OP as someone like Cage. He has to like do the stupid things sometimes in order to like lose.
Mm-hmm. And then they basically, as we talked about last time, last time felt like such a this is where Conan will betray Puma moment, and then he doesn't, and it's seemingly dropped as a plot beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do we go from here? Indeed. And then we still waiting for Black Lotus. Come back, please come back.
Black Lotus. I'm really hoping we get some of the old BL on tonight's double feature.
Yes, this time we get 2 episodes. Season 1, episodes 21 and 22. The first title being Uno Dos Tres. I'm not going to say the second one because that would be technically a spoiler.
Oh.
So, all you know is the title of the first episode.
Uno Dos Tres. I'm here for it.
Yep.
Nice and cryptic.
So if you would like to watch along with us, you can do so at tubi.tv. It is a streaming service that is completely free with ads. There is no option for a non-ad version, but it is free. So you just have to make an account and then you can watch.
It's pretty dope, especially if you really, really, really want to get in on some of the stuff that Tubi has to offer, which is a surprisingly like thorough catalog of stuff.
Not a bad collection.
Mm-mm.
So, then we will be back to talk in the second half to talk about Lucha Underground Season 1, episodes 21 and 22.
Woohoo!
And we are back. We have just finished Lucha Underground Season 1, episodes 21 and 22. And I gotta say, holy moly, Stromboli. Those episodes were the bomb.com.
Those were some pretty good, man. Thank you, Guy.
Listen, I watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives to get my Guy Fieri-isms down around here.
I love that you went that in depth because I am definitely not up on my Guy Fieri lore, aside from the meme that is Flavortown.
And Flavortown, I think we definitely went to Flavortown tonight.
We went to Flavortown in these episodes. I have to say, this is some good shit. Gone is the bitching of last Lucha episode, and in its place is just, oh my god, we're back to so much good shit going on all at the same time.
Yep. So, do you want to do anything in particular instead of just starting from the beginning?
I mean, to carry on kind of my usual MO with this, there is a huge overarching theme these 2 episodes about dysfunction. Interpersonal dysfunction is the name of the game around here right now. And
it is.
Dario just apparently hating the fact that he has a locker room that can actually somewhat like get along, because why the fuck would you want to have like a peaceful locker room at your business? Where's the fun in that?
No, he wants chaos and distrust. So, and I think that's a good segue to talk about his main shtick of the night of the week was the introduction of the trios tag team titles.
Yeah.
And so, this is the secondary title here in Lucha Underground, and we're having a 6-team tournament for it. Each team is going to face 1-on-1. Each team 3v3, and then the championship final will be 3v3v3.
It's very funny because Dario states pretty early on that he wants this title to be like pretty much as important as like the Lucha Underground Championship, which is like kind of understandable if it's going to be your secondary thing, and it's kind of cool to try to not devalue it. But then he tries to this is skipping way ahead, but he shoehorns Puma into this competition. Champion Puma, who already has the gold, to go for another belt that's supposed to be as important as that belt. So why? Like, okay, on a technical writing level, I get it, because we want to Lucha Underground is its most fun when we're just like throwing everybody together at the same fucking time. Like the peak so far has been Aztec Warfare, and so like it's fun to just like chuck everyone together in a crazy melting pot. But like from a Dario perspective, why are you trying to do this, buddy? What do you accomplish? What do you gain from making Champion 1 fight for Championship 2 and try to be like these are equally as important?
Yeah, I don't know exactly, because I can't even say it's a situation where he's trying to fuck with Puma, because he doesn't, unless he also knows of the tension between Puma and Hernandez already, which he might, I guess. But
no, well, because like the tension didn't really pop up until this episode during the match.
So, but every team that Dario himself puts together is intentionally done in a way that is probably going to cause chaos and fuckery.
Seriously, he's just trying to tear people apart. He puts together teams of Sexy Star, Superfly, and Pentagon Jr. Fuck, who else? Oh, the other big one is Ivelisse and Angelico and Son of Havoc are thrown together into a team.
Yes, the love triangle storyline has now evolved into, can they coexist?
This whole tournament is, can they coexist?
It is. Also, we can assume that Dario Kayfabe put together Drago, Aerostar, and Phoenix, which is also a team that can't get along. The only teams that get along properly are the other two teams in the tournament. We have the other three teams in the tournament are Puma, Hernandez, and Johnny Mundo, which are not getting along either. We'll get to that. And then the two teams that are functioning, we have King Cuerno, Cage, and Tejano, as we learned the second episode of our 2 tonight. And
we'll get to that.
And kind of the opening segment of the episode, we get Big Rick, Killshot, and the Mac. So Big Rick introduces the Mac as his cousin, and Killshot is just his friend who dresses up in a mask and has a motif, as a gun motif, I guess.
I suppose there's a bullseye on his forehead.
Yeah. As I told David, he gets a whole backstory bit he gets a whole intense backstory in the second season.
I'm looking forward to it.
But for now, he's just a dude with a gun motif.
And some definitely aggro tendencies.
He is, yes. So yeah, like the first thing we get these episodes is Big Rick coming into Dario's office with his new crew.
Yeah,
because he needs a crew that will not betray him.
Yeah, He's like, I know what you did, Dario, and his crew like seizes Dario, and he's got a cigar, and he's clearly like threatening to like burn out Dario's eyes.
Oh yeah,
like,
he's aiming for it, but Dario quickly makes him back off when he brings up this new trios tag tournament, and you guys can be in the tournament.
Very conveniently, 3-man. Well, okay, it's not considered a 3-man tag, I guess, but like a 3-man team tournament.
Real conveniently
on the day that a 3-man team is like menacing him.
Yeah, lucky how that works out sometimes.
He's just that good. His machinations are that fruitful.
Yeah. So Rick does agree to the tournament, but before he leaves, Dario tries to have him shake hands on this to be like, okay, we're good now, right? You're not gonna hurt me. And then he denies the handshake. He's like, nah, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
And so Dario pulls into his pocket, into his office drawer, and pulls out a fat stack of money.
Yeah.
And then Mac and Killshot are also like, yeah, our cuts too. And Dario's like, oh, fine.
Which, like, I love this, like, the straight up extorting of Dario, because why the fuck not?
And I mean, who's gonna complain about it? It's Dario. He's earned it.
True. That everyone says fuck Dario. Honestly.
Yeah, nobody really likes Dario. I don't know why. I think he's a great boss.
Clearly, yeah, he doesn't constantly try to fuck over his own.
But he's doing
employees.
it. But David, he's doing it for us, for our entertainment.
Yes, ultimate humanitarian Dario Cueto. You know, you're absolutely right. Why didn't I think of it that way?
Yep. So then we get our first match of the night: Johnny Mundo versus Angelico,
which is a quality match. I mean, Angelico we've been talking about a lot. Mundo hasn't been around for a hot second.
Not since the cage match. I don't remember him. Since his cage match with Cuerno. This was Cuerno's first time back from the cage match as well.
Yeah, they've both finally like returned from a long slumber.
Yeah, they kind of let them have their stay away while we kind of finish up story arcs with everybody else.
Yeah, we're making the time.
Yeah, our last couple of episodes have been like focusing on other bit stuff. So, but now Mundo and Cuerno are both back, and Mundo gets to have this match on Havoc. And yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, no, I mean their styles are very matched to each other. Mundo's not as much a high flyer as Angelico is, but he's got the parkour thing, which is close enough.
Good enough.
Yeah. But it is kind of nice the way it is, because it's not like two of the same thing. They're close, but they have enough differences between them that you're able to kind of like physically distinguish between the two of them. Mundo's is like a little more like grounded and power based, and Angelico, you know, flippies and flyies a little bit more. And they just generally are well matched, have good in-ring chemistry, and I enjoy it. It was just quality. It was good to see Mundo back, and Angelico, you know, doing his own thing for the brief second he was allowed to.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to get to see Angelico in a context where he's not a creepy asshole, and I have to be remembered.
Yeah, I know. It's so refreshing.
I can kind of just enjoy the guy.
It is good too for like reestablishing Mundo before you throw him into the 3-man or the 6-man, whatever. You know, nice little tactical move there. I was entertained. Good job all around. Yes.
Definitely. Not a whole lot to say about it, except it's just a really fun kind of almost a friendly. I'd say it's a friendly. There was no real beef to either of them. They're just like having a match.
No, they're just there to do their job. Neither of them are particularly like outwardly friendly, but they weren't like, they didn't like hate each other.
They weren't at each other's throats. This was just a competition, you know. Winner gets the bigger pay cut and has a better chance at further tighter title opportunities. It's how it goes in the fake fighting club, in the Fight Club.
In the Fight Club.
Yep. After that, we have spent so many weeks on this show talking.
I know. She's back,
where is
baby.
Black Lotus? it has been 4 of our episodes, I believe, and like 6 episodes of the show since she got kidnapped. And she's finally back.
I have to say, like, they make the absence work. They do a good job, as they've been doing with the Black Lotus thing this whole time, of like making it a very tantalizing mystery of it's her like doing a diary entry of like, it's been a week. I got kidnapped by this dude who was there the day the monster killed my family, and we're like, oh fuck, a whole lot of lore going on at the same time. And she's like, he's training me to fight the monster, and we get like some mix between like Kill Bill, James Bond, and Avatar: The Last Airbender opening sequence graphics of them like training, shadow training together.
Yeah, so we get as he said, the framing device for this is to kind of explain what's been going down. Is Black Lotus filling out her diary, and she explains that, like, thank God I was stopped before I got murdered by the monster Matanza, and. But she was kidnapped. So we kind of learned that it could have been inferred from everything else, but now we know. Now it's explicitly stated that the whole kidnapping bit and throwing her in the trunk was all a plot by El Dragon Azteca, who was trying to save her life so she didn't get murdered.
Yeah. It was a very like it was a very aggressive life saving.
It was probably could have just talked to her, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but like, but where's the points for drama in that case,
I guess. So El Dragon Azteca, a new mentor figure on the show, he is supposedly has he can trace his lineage all the way back to the ancient Aztec tribes, because presumably the dragon tribe or the reptile tribe. Unfortunately, the show never explicitly says what all 7 tribes are. They just kind of like casually throw them out there in pieces, and you kind of have to just know, oh yeah, these are the 7.
Look, they're kind of cheeky about all the like ancient Hispanic lore that they,
which is of course all horse shit. Just to be clear, it's not.
Yeah,
not representative of actual Hispanic history.
Yeah, it's very fast and loose with the available mythology, I would have to say.
Yeah, but point being is, as David said, El Dragon Azteca was supposedly there the night that Matanza murdered Black Lotus's parents. So he is an expert in the monster,
the OG, if you will.
Not to try to force a reference here, but he feels very Laurie from Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you look at these these newer movies where she's like the old person who just knows all about Michael.
I know, she serves as like the mentor. She gets upgraded as like the mentor figure,
right? Well, also a target, of course.
Well, sometimes you got to be both. You got to pull a Tommy Oliver, as you do. But I mean, like the main difference here being that that our boy name one more time.
El Dragon Azteca.
Dragon Azteca. Okay, Dragon Azteca. Our boy Dragon Azteca. We don't exactly have a long-standing lore history with him, as we do Laurie from Halloween. But I guess we'll find out more.
We certainly will.
And they leave it at that. We don't get a whole lot more about this guy. We just see like shots of Black Lotus in his temple learning about the monster,
Lucha Libre,
and Lucha Libre on a whole.
She said she's being trained in the art of Lucha Libre.
Which
that's the best way to fight the monster, which is very convenient because he's in a temple filled with a fight club of people who do Lucha Libre.
Yeah. I feel like it was a foregone conclusion she was going to become a fighter. I'm kind of surprised she wasn't already, but cool. We get a new challenger approaching.
Yeah. New character for Smash. That is not Luigi. Is not Waluigi.
God damn it. Why does it? I actually was like right before we started recording, I was watching this video of like somebody made like an animation of Waluigi getting a like one of those like Smash Bros invite promos, but it was like Waluigi invites himself. Because I guess he's in Project M, which honestly, low key might just like get me to finally spring on getting myself Project M.
What is Project M again?
Project M is like a fan made. It's like a fan made Smash game.
Okay.
And it was hugely popular as like a Brawl substitute back when people were all pissy about how Brawl isn't competitively viable or whatever.
I don't care enough.
I don't give a shit.
Anyway, back to our show. Lotus is back, thank God.
Yeah.
As we continue the lore of the monster in the cage.
Yeah. She's finally returned, and we're right back to being all tingly with mystery.
Yep. Then we get a backstage. We're in the back in the bathroom, and Mundo is coming back ostensibly from his match, of course. And then here comes Alberto El Patron to start some shit.
Of course, because he's always got to be starting some shit around here.
And
yeah,
it's them kind of passive aggressively taking shots at each other. Like, Mundo is like, "Hey, Alberto, how nice of you to be here. Are you just going to be here to fight guys you've already beaten, or are you trying to challenge yourself?"
Yeah. And then he's like, "Nah, I'm just messing with you. JK,
like,
JK,
unless. And then Alberto's like, "Oh, Johnny. It's good to see you. I mean, I thought you quit wrestling. I didn't know where you were, and then I found you here."
Yeah. Yeah, because it's funny too, because for some reason I have it in my head that he's John Morrison in WWE post Lucha instead of pre Lucha. I always have that in my head for some reason, so I'm like, when the fuck have El Patron and Mundo worked together in the past?
Yeah, they were both in WWE for there's a several month gap. Del Rio came in late 2010, and John Morrison left mid 2011.
Oh shit!
Actually, late 2011, early 2012.
So there's any significant interactions in their shared time together?
No, actually.
Oh well. Either way, manufacturing a feud. Sure.
Yeah, it's the dream match. It's the 2011 WWE dream
matchup. Yeah, sure. And we get some shots here. They're very deliberately at first like shooting Del Rio's face exclusively in like the mirror of the bathroom they're meeting in. And it's like, okay, I see Del Rio El Patron went to the Sasha Banks school of promo cutting.
Yeah, doing it in front of a mirror.
Yeah, we get some mirror master moment of him being like, basically being like, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. And Mundo's like looking at himself in the mirror like, oh shit.
My abs look great, but also I'm coming I'll come back for you.
Yes, I am here for vain himbo energy from Johnny Mundo.
Oh, if that's what you like, hold on. Just wait.
Wait, really? Yes.
Like, I think you're really gonna like where Johnny Mundo goes then.
Yes. As a character. Yes. Vain himbo Johnny Mundo. He's so perfect for it.
He is. Like, that's what he does best, honestly.
Johnny Mundo, more like Johnny Bravo, am I right, ladies?
There's my costume for next year.
Johnny Mundo looking at himself in the mirror like, man, I'm pretty.
Man, I'm pretty.
Anyway,
yes. Okay. Next up, we get Sexy Star in Dario's office as Dario wants to put her in the tournament. in his tournament because he wants all the big stars. He is an equal opportunity employer. So
yeah, he says I'm an equal opportunity employer, and I immediately go, yeah, press X to doubt.
Yeah. Because he who has absolutely never plotted to see Sexy Star taken out or anything,
or any
never
of his
happened.
jobbers.
So he puts Sexy Star on a team with Superfly. Okay,
nice.
One of her good friends that we've seen on the show already.
He's being all schmoozy about it. He's like your usual tag partners, Masquerita Sigrada and Pimpinella aren't here. Okay.
Yes, for reasons, of course, I know nothing about. And had nothing to do with.
I totally did not have any involvement in their presence here.
Just kind of happened.
It's one of those things. Crazy world, ain't it?
Yeah. But of course, she needs two partners. So her other partner, this is very exciting.
Yeah,
who breaks his opponents in half.
Superfly. He names Superfly, and he's like, Superfly? And then, really exciting. Pentagon Jr. And yes, okay, yep, there's the punchline.
Which
Thanks,
is also
Dario.
Which is of course sketchy, but also from that Pentagon Jr. and Sexy Star were feuding against each other during the days of Lucha Underground we skipped.
Oh, really?
Because it was the Sexy Star and Chavo Guerrero bit. And Chavo had aligned himself with Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix aligned himself with Sexy Star for that.
Well, because Dario also said something about you guys have worked together before.
Yeah, no, I think he was mentioning. I think he was talking about like you've worked together before, as in you fought before in this temple.
Oh well, I mean they technically in that case have.
They did technically work together.
Before.
Yes, very clever. Very clever. And they will be facing Rick's team, Big Rick's team, later in the main event, which is another thing. Is Rick and Sexy Star were on good terms. If nothing else, enemy of my enemy bit. But
and now Dario, and he literally calls out to your buddy Big Rick.
Yeah,
this man just wants to watch the world burn. Why is he doing this to all of his fighters?
Because he's a dick.
He's literally just Lucha Libre Joker.
Like he's just being an asshole. Like there's no real end game to it necessarily. None of his like usual like merc. The crew isn't in the tournament, by the way, which is weird. They're a trio.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Well, did they get like yeeted when Rick?
I guess we can assume they're still recovering from Rick kicking their ass.
It is really interesting. It was funny because I was thinking in the back of my head, Big Rick with a new team, and it's not the crew, but it feels a lot like the crew. Interesting. I never fully conceptualized, wait, why the fuck isn't the crew involved here?
I assume they're just still hurt. It's only been 2 weeks in kayfabe since this.
I mean, all of Pentagon's victims thus far are still deeply hospitalized.
Yeah, even the ones that their arms were probably fine by now.
Yeah, namely Sexy's usual teammates of Masquerita Sagrada and Pimpinella.
Listen, they're just actually being kept. It's actually just shame.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So they and Dario on to top this all off is as Sexy is clearly unhappy with this arrangement because she's not stupid and can see the problem here. So she's kind of storming out, and Dario goes, "Wait, I mean, be happy. I mean, this could be your big break." I love a good villain that can do puns.
Very poor choice of words.
Or the perfect choice of words.
That was absolutely wild.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we now get to Drago and Aerostar in match 4 of the best of 5, with Aerostar up 2-1, making this one of this being a bit of a foregone conclusion.
Well, sure. Mm-hmm. I will say I did really appreciate they really harped in this one on technical. The term technical, which, as they point out and as Austin pointed out to me, sounds like technical, and it technically is, in that it means, in lucha terms, babyface, because in very classic lucha, the good guys fought very technically and competently, and the bad guys were just filthy, dirty cheaters. Ha 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 ha. And
that's why they're called Rudos.
They're the Rudos. So they were harping a lot on how Aerostar and Drago were both technicos here. They're both good guys, but also, they're both pretty technical wrestlers too. And at first I was like, oh, that's a cool history lesson. But then it really comes into play during the match, because they're really starting to play with this angle of, it's match number 4, things are getting desperate, and they're really hurting each other. Especially from Drago's side. I think that was the big one, is that, like, and if you want me to, like, kayfabe the reason why he won, is he kind of felt like it seemed to me like, at least the story they wanted to tell was, Drago's getting more desperate, is getting desperate here, because he's got to win this. Yeah, he really has a bit of a stronger energy about him this time. He was clearly the dominant one for the entirety of the match. Right. And that makes sense, because, again, if he loses, it's over. Aerostar can still eat the loss. He has less to... Drago has more to lose than Aerostar does in this match. So it makes sense that Drago's came out like a stronger force, if you want to think about it that way. It really... It does scan. And it made for a cool variation where Drago was a little more powerful. It wasn't as even a match as it's been in the past. It was more, we all knew the inevitable conclusion to this. It was that Drago was going to get the dub, and Aerostar was going to fall short of it, because we have to get to match number 5. And I applaud them for doing something interesting with it, because as much as I enjoyed this being a face versus face, or Technico versus Technico, just straight up fighting fun, whatever, it is cool to have a little spice thrown in at the very end. Yeah. And on top of that too, we then get in if we're talking about that spice, we get the moment at the end where, after it's kind of a brutal match, and Stryker and Vampiro on commentary saying, like, man, these are like I hate you moves. This isn't as friendly anymore. They're both going for it. This doesn't feel as Technico as we were saying it was when we started this. Interesting, huh? But we get a moment at the end of the match where Drago is still trying to keep things somewhat friendly, and Aerostar isn't having it anymore. He reaches out for a handshake. Aerostar, like, tentatively grabs it, but then Aerostar, like, pulls. They do that thing where you pull them in, and you're like, you're like getting at each other, and it's all of a sudden, nope, friendship over, bye. And Dario's newest plan has worked perfectly. Yeah. Another friendship destroyed. Dario Cueto, friendship destroyer. Dario Cueto hates friendship. True. That he really is Joker posting, because it feels like he's just trying to be like, nothing matters. Friendship doesn't matter in this world. Love doesn't matter in this world. All that matters is money, and I need to convince all of you of that deep universal truth. He's trying to see if he can one bad day anybody around here. Honestly, I kind of wouldn't be surprised, because, like, I feel like it exists in Dario's mind, the thought that if he one bad day someone, they will become loyal to him. They'll fall in lockstep with him, and he can be the king at the top of this money-making period and not have to worry about pesky friendships bringing up morale and maybe helping people realize that he's a shitty fucking boss. Like, oh god, someone might actually gain some self-awareness of their poor working conditions. If they had friends. Dario Cueto, enemy of the proletariat. Yes. So, after that, we get another scene in Dario's office. This first episode has so many scenes in the office. Yeah, this was another one that was really plot heavy, but I like it. I did like it. Lucha. We haven't had a plot heavy episode in a couple weeks, so yeah, seriously, I'm glad to have it back. But then we get
Dario talking to Angelico, Son of Havoc, and Ivelisse, where he's kind of like, honestly, not impressed with any of you. Angelico, you lost to Son of Havoc last week.
And you just lost to Donnie Mundo.
Yeah. Son of Havoc, you beat Angelico, but only after you've been losing for months.
But did you not see the character growth, Dario?
I don't think he would appreciate character growth.
He don't care. He don't care one bit.
And Ivelisse, you got dumped by him, and that's honestly pretty sad in its own right.
But fuck you, Dario.
And of course, Ivelisse has to be like, no, I didn't get dumped.
I do the dumping around here.
Which is inaccurate. It's unfortunate you say that when we have video camera footage of you getting dumped.
Look, are we really surprised that Ivelisse is like that bad gaslighter? Are we really surprised that Ivelisse goes that hard on the gaslighting, even if there's definitive proof against her?
Nope, not surprised. But so Dario is suggesting, he's like, honestly, all of your single careers suck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you all a tag team, and you're going to be in the tournament next week.
Yeah, because of course he did. And I had a moment here where I was like, no, God damn it. Let Havoc finally move on and do his own thing. Let Angelico move on and do his own thing. And let Ivelisse fucking whatever. And Austin's assuring me that this amounts to something really cool. So I will bite my tongue.
This is great. You gotta hold on.
I will bite my tongue. After that like really powerful victorious moment from Havoc last time where he dumps her and gets the win, I was hoping for him to finally be able to move on. But no, I guess he's got to stick around in abusive X land for another little bit because the tournament that Dario is all of a sudden really hard for out of nowhere.
Dario realized that having a tournament with teams would allow him to break up friendships this way. This is why he wants this trios title to be so important, is so he can constantly break up friendships and cause tension.
Rule 1 of Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club. Rule 2 of Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club. Rule 3 of Fight Club, fuck your friendships.
Yep. So then we get our main event of the first episode is the first tournament match. Big Rick, the Mac, and Killshot versus Sexy Star, Superfly, and Pentagon Jr. First things first, it seems that Sexy Star, despite being friends with Superfly, did not inform him of their tag partner.
Yeah, Pentagon shows up and he's like, Superfly's like, oh, what the fuck?
Like, what the hell, man?
He was clearly a little confused. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck is up with that communication there, Sexy? Come on.
Yeah. And so the match quickly kind of devolves into not great teamwork.
Really? I mean, okay, Sexy and Superfly work together fine.
They get along
and fine. The other tag team works together really fine.
Yeah. Well, Pentagon Jr. opens before we get to the match. He gets a microphone and he just goes, is that my master?
Yeah.
Though I have been placed with these two weak partners, and some guy in the crowd yells like, come on, Pentagon, don't say that.
Yeah. We get another guy in the audience. I love that we can hear guys in the audience saying random shit.
Yeah. He doesn't like that down talk, but he explains that he is going to win the trios titles by himself for his Dark Master.
Trios be damned. We just want more bone juice for the Bone God.
Mm-hmm. And so there's just the rift between Pentagon, Superfly, and Sexy Star. Pentagon tries very hard to never include them in the match when he can. But then on the flip side, of course, Sexy Star and Superfly also snub him late afterwards. And that's arguable.
Yeah, sorry. Go
you can you go.
No, they're trying to exclude him and Pentagon is trying to insert himself. Pentagon does get effectively the very first section of the fight for himself against Mac. Because I don't know, he just kind of throws himself in there. And Mac proves himself to be a really athletic fighter off the bat. He was kind of a bigger dude, but he's a flippy boy. He's kind of like Kane-ish in a way, and that he's like got a lot of mass, but he's able to be very agile.
Oh yeah. So from the other side of the coin, this match very much exists to introduce the audience to the Mac and Killshot.
Yeah, which is good for like introducing them that they are the cohesive team here.
Right. And that's relevant when you look at the other teams already moving on in the tournament, which we'll get to.
Oh,
cohesion might be helpful.
Yeah. Pentagon and Mac in theory are pretty evenly matched, but Pentagon's kind of getting thrown around early on in the fight, which is interesting to see because usually he's hugely dominant. And this whole fight, I was kind of like thinking, is Pentagon getting depowered in some way here? It was interesting to see he wasn't so in control of the situation, partially because of the team dysfunction, I think.
I think it could be a situation of underestimating his opponents, that he's never seen the Mac or Killshot before. He kind of he clearly had no intention of doing this a proper team way. And, 1-on-3 is a hard fight to win, no matter who you are. So that's the way I'd look at it. It's not necessarily a depowering, but he mostly by his own fault in making this fuck my teammates situation, got himself in a scenario he wasn't necessarily ready for, caught him off guard.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But it was interesting to see a more imperfect side of Pentagon. And like, well, on one hand, it kind of takes away a little bit from like the mythological scariness he's had up to this point. It also serves to make him a little more well-rounded, which I appreciate.
And don't worry, I think he gets back his danger factor.
No, he definitely, yeah. But like, there's a certain like, once you introduce any level of vulnerability here, that's just gone. Period.
Yeah.
But it's not like gone in like a bad irredeemable way. Just like it's different now. But yeah, so he gets a lot of the first segment, and then Deadshot finally tags in at one point, and Superfly tags himself in. He kind of gives Pentagon a little like whap on the back.
Yeah, these two episodes test a lot of the idea of like you can hit your opponent anywhere to tag in.
Yeah. Oh my God, they really play fast and loose with what counts as a tag here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Superfly and Killshot have a fun like back and forth of flippity doos together.
Oh my God, I always forget how insanely good Superfly is. What is up with Lucha letting their jobbers be as insanely good as they are? Superfly is a sight to behold. Dude is so fucking good in the air. And Deadshot matches. I know a little less flippy than Superfly in a whole, but damn, it was a flyboy show there for a hot second.
Oh yeah. And Killshot also gets allowed to kind of show a resilient side, and he kicks out of Pentagon's like not his pile driver, but like his Falcon arrow, one of his bigger moves, and the announcers are like, "Whoa, they able to get out of that one."
Big boy over here.
Yeah.
The match is proceeding with a lot of it starts to devolve a little bit. There's more dysfunction on the side of the sexy team.
Right.
Big Rick is starting to get frustrated. Of course, at one point, Rick and Sexy find themselves in the ring together, and that goes about
friendship be
damned.
Like when we look back, in Matt Stryker called this out on commentary too. He's talking about last time these two were in the ring together. Rick didn't want to fight Sexy. Like he does frame it as a situation of like we both kind of hate the crew here. I don't really want to hurt you. We don't have to be enemies here. But Rick clearly like we're in a tournament against each other now, so all bets are off.
Which like it does make me kind of sad because I like the friendship, and it's kind of gone. And Rick's clearly a little more okay with throwing sexy around.
Yeah.
At this point, but at the same time, it is kind of cool it's nice to get a very solid feel for what their relationship looks like at this point. It's not just this dude. It's not that they're super close friends. It's not that they were able to redeem themselves all in like a single moment.
Yeah,
it was more of a tentative friendship, and that's gone now.
And maybe if they had more time, it could have been a little more firmer ground. But Dario's not gonna have any of that.
Oh, we know. He as we've all established, Dario Cueto, friendship hater.
Yep, hater of friends. The match ends when I will say that by the end, Sexy and Pentagon have a few moments together where they can work together.
Oh my god, it's such a good moment.
The actually super cool moment where Killshot is up sitting on the top rope, and Pentagon gets down to like throw Sexy up to Killshot to like Hurricane Rana him off the top rope. It's pretty cool. But unfortunately, everything breaks. They break down. Big Rick is able to take out Pentagon, and then Sexy Star tries to jump in for the help, and she gets wrecked as well. And then when it's Superfly all alone, not good time for him. He kind of just gets walloped on 3-on-1. He gets pinned.
And all of a sudden it makes sense why Superfly's in on this, because we don't want any of these other people to be taking the fall here. So of course we got to designate our jobber.
Yep. So the team, Rick and his team win, and Pentagon is like, well, partnership over. Back to what I was doing. Breaking arms.
Yeah, he tries to go for fucking Superfly's arm
immediately.
Without hesitation. He just climbs in there. He's like, all right, here we go.
And the only thing that stops him is Sexy Star comes back and kicks him in the face and knocks and pushes and gets him away. And so Pentagon's just like, oh, I'm coming for you too now. I'm getting both your arms.
Yeah. it was vengeful face on immediately. They are doomed. They are very doomed.
It's over for you. So that is the end of episode 21. So then we go into episode 22, which opens with our last Dario in the office scene. This time he is with the champ Puma. And
yeah. Okay, I was like, fuck, what was this?
Yeah, this is why I'm glad I wrote it all down.
Yeah, no, you're keeping track of your show notes. I'm keeping track of my thematic notes. All right, we're being good about this.
There we go. So Dario is talking up his new trios championship tournament, how he wants the best of the best in this tournament, and so Puma, you're in. Find 2 partners. And next week you're going to face King Cuerno and his 2 partners. But don't worry, also you get to fight Cuerno tonight.
Yeah.
And as he walks out the door, because Conan is like, oh, fuck this. This is some bullshit. And so as they're walking out the door, Dario's like, oh, by the way, also your match with Cuerno tonight is for the Lucha Underground title.
Dario Cueto is not a huge fan of being very forthcoming about pertinent information.
Yeah. So now Puma has a title match he wasn't ready for. Right tonight.
As you do. Again, waka waka.
Waka waka, eat shit. So now we get the first match of the night. The trios title match of the show, part of the episode, with Angelico, Son of Havoc, and Ivelisse taking on Drago, Aerostar, and Phoenix. This is Phoenix's first match since putting old Mil Muertes in a casket.
Yeah, he's back. So many people back tonight.
Yeah, like I mentioned, like I feel like as I alluded to it in episode 19, and I think it fits episode 22, is they feel like mid-season finales even though they weren't. But they feel like them, and this feels like the start of the second half of the season. Everybody's coming back. We got new storylines to do.
Yes.
We got an exciting new tournament to kind of like get everybody jazzed right here at the start. And if you thought that if you listened to us talk about the last trios title match and you thought Sexy Star and Pentagon and Superfly didn't get along, well, here's some more of that. Because this is a match where both teams don't get along, actually.
Oh my god, so much dysfunction. It's so fucking insane.
As per usual, we ask ourselves, can they coexist? No.
And the answer is inevitably always no.
Indeed. So, Drago and Aerostar getting a little chippy to end their last match together. It hasn't really helped. They're not doing great. They haven't patched things up in the week since that happened. So they're at each other's throats the whole match. And then, of course, Sexy Star, Ivelisse, and Angelico. We've covered their love triangle nonsense already. So you can guess how their relationship is in this match. Phoenix.
They're definitely the more dysfunctional tag of the match.
Phoenix is really just trying to have a match here, guys.
Yeah, poor Phoenix is just dragged into all this bullshit.
He's like, I'm just trying to win a title here. What guys? Can we get together here?
Can we please just get kumbaya?
Kuna Matata. Whatever. Yeah. So. The match is really fun though. Probably my favorite of the episode.
It was a lot of fun. For me, I honestly like the can they coexist meme is fun enough. But the pure lack of cohesion between Team 1 honestly took it down a little bit for me, because like it was a fun effect, but like it wasn't like the most hype match of the night for me on those grounds. There were two kind of like technical aspects of the fight that I kind of really noticed that I want to call out. So something I noticed like the first time we had an Ivelisse match, and something I really noticed this time, is Ivelisse does a really, really, really good job at depicting a rough around the edges, unpolished, untrained wrestler, because she does this really cool thing where she is simultaneously like talented in ring, but deeply unpolished. And that's a really impressive feat, I would have to say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And it probably helps kind of emphasize that, being in the ring with at least 3 other guys who are very polished. In the luchadors trio.
Well, not even like as, but like it has to take so much skill to have what I'm sure for her is a abundance of wrestling competency, because to be as good as she is in ring on a broad level, you have to be good in ring. But she's very, very good at manipulating her physicality to make her look like noobish and untrained. I don't know how she's pulling that off as well as she is. But everything looks a little unpolished, a little rough, not super precise. But she still gets the job done and does it well. I'm really impressed by that feat. That was something that really stuck out to me here.
Oh yeah, I would definitely agree.
And also, we're skipping ahead to the end of the match, but this is the other big thing that stuck out to me as my first, okay, maybe this whole thing isn't just like saying fuck you to Havoc's character development last time and letting him move on. Havoc is the one that gets the dub in this in this match, which I think was a really smart move, because Ivelisse like walks off on him, and
he tries to tag Ivelisse into the match, and she just is like, nope, not doing it, I'm leaving. Have fun on your own.
Yeah, she I mean, she's just always done, because she's the worst. But with her gone, Havoc is able to get his focus and get the win. And it feels Correct. That feels like the
Mhm.
objectively correct way to end this match.
Yeah.
Is Havoc getting to have his moment in the sun once more because he's maturing past Ivelisse and in some ways past this dysfunctional dynamic and is able to exist as his own person.
Yeah. He does pin Drago, which is a little crazy, but this feels, we talked about Superfly being like the obvious pin guy. There's not really an obvious pin guy in this match.
Not really. I almost said I would pin. I like my first instinct, if I were to look at this completely from the outside, would say like Angelico. I don't know why, mostly because he just feels like kind of the least important character wise. I don't know. Yeah, like he kind of feels like the least important character wise. Or Phoenix, but Phoenix feels a little too like triumphant and a little too guys. Can't we all just get along for him to really take the fall for this shit?
That and like I don't know if you can have Phoenix lose his first match after the casket match.
No, that would just. I feel that would depower him a lot.
Yeah. Something I noticed in the match is honestly, Ivelisse had was involved in a lot of the highlights of this match that I remember. Like when she tags out in the match when Son of Havoc is there, she slaps him across the face, and they're like, "Well, that's a tag."
Yeah, that was fucking hysterical.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. I'm like, well, yeah, that's one way to get a tag in.
I suppose. And we also had Phoenix continuing his white knighting streak. I don't know what else to call it in the sense, because like in the temple, like intergender wrestling is pretty just accepted as the thing that exists. Everyone's cool with it. But Phoenix resolutely refuses to wrestle women.
Yeah.
Like every time from we've seen in this show, and don't worry, he will get more opportunities to be like this. Like he just doesn't want, if he has an opportunity to fight a woman, he's just like, nope, not doing it.
Bye-bye.
Please move away. Which does kind of let Ivelisse get some hits in on him and feel like a nice moment, show off moment for her.
Is that when she gets like the little like fucking kick to his face? Is that when that was?
I think that's it. Yeah, like it was part of a whole sequence of stuff that ends with her getting like the top rope the tornado DDT.
Oh yeah,
at the end there. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. But also a moment that involves those two that isn't in that same vein is that we eventually get a spot where people are on the outside and everyone just starts diving to the outside.
Oh yeah.
And Ivelisse, she's setting up, she's getting ready to go, and Rafe and Phoenix just hops the top rope and jumps before she gets there.
Yep.
And she's just standing there like, "Fuck you! I was gonna do the thing."
Yeah, she's not too happy about that. This match also devolves a little bit into chaos. As Drago and Aerostar can't totally get along at a few points.
Yeah, which by the way, they frame the shot so you can see it happening in the background. When Ivelisse walks out on Son of Havoc at the exact same time, Drago and Aerostar are just slapping the shit out of each other.
I know. It's so fucking funny. They really saw Ivelisse slap Havoc for a tag, and they're like, what if we just did that a bunch of times?
What if we did that to each other? That sounds like a great idea.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This match was surprisingly funny. It just had a lot of very like comedic moments to it, I noticed.
Oh yeah, very good times. So the completely dysfunctional tag team of the Love Trio have Son of Havoc, Ivelisse, and Angelico. They kind of pull a bit of an upset, I would think, on Drago, Aerostar, and Phoenix, and they get the win. They're going to the finals against Big Rick, Killshot, and the Mac, and the winner of the next trios match that we get the next episode.
I will say I am excited to have those two be the ones to go up against each other, because it feels like I don't know how to describe this, but it feels like they are the most natural to be featured as part of the winners of this tournament. The others all have their own baggage they can deal with.
They got other stuff going on.
Yeah,
that they have to deal with.
These three, well, I guess these six have kind of the blankest enough slates that it feels right to have them be the ones going in plot wise to move on to the next round. So
you look at it from a very like utilitarian perspective of looking at like who's going to win these matches is who are the guy, like if you have another storyline going on, you're not going to win this tournament because you're going to pay, because the payoff is that you go deal with that. For both of these two teams, they don't have anything else really going on right now because Rick just got done with the crew and the three of them have just
the whole point of them is that they're being forced together.
Right.
To deal with each other in an odd trio style.
Yeah, not an odd couple. It's odd trio.
Not an odd couple, an odd couple plus one.
Yes. Which kind of describes that whole relationship, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So they get the wins. They're going to compete for the trios titles in 2 episodes from now. Yes. Then we get Puma in the gym. He is doing his pull-ups. And Conan comes in and is like, hey, I got you a partner. Hernandez. What a shock.
Yeah, wow. No way. Nepotism. Kind of.
And he's like, don't worry. You got to go find a third partner. Don't worry about it, but we're good. He's got your back.
And this is, again, with the stipulation that Cuerno is going to be showing up to their main event match tonight with his
team. So
and
Puma's got to bring his boys now.
Yeah, Conan feels weirdly confident about like, yeah, we can just find one more by tonight, last minute, no problem. But then Mundo steps out of the shadows and reveals himself as Puma's pick for the other member of the tag team. And I will say, and we'll touch on this a tiny bit more like in the match itself. But I will say, with me bitching in the front half about how stagnant Puma's character is, I do appreciate the little bit of a hint here that he's willing to stand up to Conan sometimes.
This is a clear rebellion from Conan because the very first thing we ever learn because the first episode had Puma versus Mundo.
Yep.
We've known from the start that Conan thinks Mundo is unreliable and untrustworthy and that Puma needs to stay away from him. He spends 9 episodes I guess technically 7 episodes because episode 8 is the prelude to Aztec warfare, but he spends 7 episodes trying to foster a rivalry between Mundo and Puma. When they are at that point, we're trying to work together to fight Rick. And Conan spends this whole time being like, nah, man, fuck that. This is not your beef is not with Rick. His beef isn't with you. Don't worry about it. Move on. And Puma's like, no, that's not the good guy thing to do.
Conan's priorities are almost as skewed as fucking Dario's.
Yeah. So this is just a callback to that is when Puma needed to get a last minute partner. Who'd he call? He called Mundo.
Who are you going to call? Johnny Mundo.
And Conan is having none of it, but is otherwise confident that at least with Hernandez there, nothing bad's going to go down.
Yeah, and honestly, Mundo x Puma just continues to rule. Yeah. I love the two of them together. It's such a fun team up. And Mundo, for as much as he's such an ostentatious badass, is like ostentatious badass. I love him. He's so much fun. He's like, yeah, Cuerno's a slippery bastard. We got to keep an eye out. Bada bing, bada boom. They get a great like multi close up of doing like a secret handshake sort of thing.
Oh yeah, they do the thing where he goes like they grab each other by the arms, then they do a regular handshake, then they do a fist bump, and they like it's cut so dramatically.
I know.
Of like bam, bam, bam. It was very funny.
Bing, bang, boom.
Yep. Then we get Sexy Star versus Superfly. They previewed this match earlier in the show by saying it was going to happen. And then Sexy Star comes out to the ring. And before we can get going, Dario steps out of his office and he's like, well, you guys are such good friends and everybody knows it. But he said, last week you showed Sexy Star, you showed an act of mercy to Superfly by saving him from Pentagon Jr. Well, this week, I want to see no mercy. And the way that is going to happen is that this match will be a mask versus mask match.
Yup.
And to those of our viewers, who is not super familiar with Lucha Libre and doesn't understand the importance of that, a mask versus mask match, a form of a Luchas De Apuestas, is essentially the thing. If you look at the biggest difference in terms of like how wrestling is presented between Lucha Libre and any other type of wrestling in the world, really, is that like anywhere else in the world, the title is the thing that is, it's all about the title, winning the title, being champion, blah, 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 blah. While in Lucha Libre, while it is still a big achievement to be champion, the money-making box office draws are a Luchas De Apuestas, a hair versus hair, a hair versus mask, or a mask versus mask match. Like I've talked about before on this show about how in Lucha Libre, your mask is your identity, and it is one of the most sacred things you can have about you as a person. And you're a dirty dickbag and piece of shit if you try to forcibly remove a luchador's mask. And a mask versus mask match is where the loser must unmask, and that's supposed to be forever. By the way, you can get a new mask. You can get a new mask, but like the mask that you lose, you can't ever do that again. Like you're done. It's supposed to be like you're done.
That person is dead now.
Yes, and it is those matches are intended for like, this is how you settle like blood feuds. Like the most hated of rivals. It's the match that you have when this is the only way to settle this, is if one of you just has to not exist anymore in the same way. And Dario is just throwing it out there to happen between two friends because he's a giant piece of shit who doesn't respect culture or tradition of the very thing that he's putting in his temple.
Yup. Yeah, that's kind of a cool aspect of Dario, right? I mean, we've been memeing this whole time about like Dario Cueto hates friendships, but like this is a deeply cynical man who just cares about like making money off of this long-standing tradition and doesn't give a fuck what he tramples in the process as long as he gets that fucking dough.
Yep. Like to him, this is just an exciting way to make a match more intense.
It makes him such a good villain, dude.
Like to him, none of this shit matters. Like none of that history of bloody feuds over this kind of stuff. Nah, fuck it. Who cares? Yep. And of course, we have his side motivation he's had this whole time of trying to take out these people he clearly doesn't like. And Sexy Star is one of them. So of course, there is an added benefit here of maybe Superfly wins and Sexy Star has to go away.
But also, he kind of seems to have some contempt for like Superfly too, because he has contempt for like all of his jobbers for just no fucking reason.
He doesn't like losers.
Like, yeah, I guess so.
Unless they serve him Mexican food.
True. Oh yeah. He hates his jobbers except for
El Mariachi Loco.
El Mariachi Loco. Oh man. I do have a quick question though about that Lucha De Apuestas thing. I feel like there is a huge disparity of importance in a hair versus mask match.
I suppose it would be. But it is also like a tradition of like real shame and embarrassment to lose your hair.
That's fair.
And I don't know enough about the history of these matches in general, but it's also kind of a way to include non-luchadors in these kind of situations.
That's fair. Mixed fighting. I get that.
Yeah. But so Sexy Star and Superfly, like they do a great job of selling how like deeply uncomfortable they are with the situation because they care about what this all means and they don't want to have to do this. but they now have to do this.
Yeah. And it turns very quick. I mean, they go merciless on each other, which is I thought was an interesting angle for them to take, because they could have played this like still courteous, but they don't. They don't. They go vicious against each other, and I feel like it says something. I feel like it says something less about their characters in general, but it says a lot about Dario's influence on the people around him. Uh because he is able to take these two good friends and make them go like ruthless against each other. And what's interesting is when the match is done, they go right back to this level of courteousness with each other, and it's like the spell of Dario just comes over you.
Yeah. Like I read it especially from Superfly, this air of the desperation.
Oh god,
because they know what it means if they lose, and they can't lose. And I think that plays into what you're saying, is that like they don't hold back. They do what Dario wanted them to do. They don't hold back.
Yeah, they really go hard on it, and it's terrifying to watch. And the crazy thing is too, like, these characters do not exist outside. Well, I don't know if Sexy Star does.
Sexy Star definitely does.
Okay.
She has a very extensive career outside of.
So Sexy Star exists outside of Lucha. Superfly, I don't think does.
I've never seen him perform under that before, so I have to look into that more.
Yeah. But either way, but like one of them doesn't exist outside of Lucha and is a jobber. We know how this is gonna end, and like they're not gonna be so psychotic as to like make this dude match on or unmask on TV if he had like a pre-established career. But it was still really heart-wrenching at the end. It was kind of weird. I didn't expect to be that torn up by it.
In the end, Sexy Star does get the win despite Superfly's best efforts. And that is that. And Sexy Star is unhappy. She's
not happy about it.
No. And Superfly, he kind of doesn't even try to fight it. And they play that as like how respectful that is, that even if they're stuck doing this, he sticks to the tradition of it all. And he like is clearly shocked that he lost. But once that's out of the way, he accepts defeat with honor and offers himself to Sexy Star so she can take the mask off. And she fights it. She fights it because she knows, she's like, please don't make me do it. But like, honor, proper honor, she must fulfill this part of the deal.
Yep.
And she does take the mask off and claim his mask for herself as a trophy. And we see poor Superfly unmasked. But then after that's all over, like they're still able to embrace as friends. They've made it through, and then here comes Pentagon Jr. to ruin it all.
Yep. Which, like, oh my god, what? This is the moment of like he was technically depowered, but like, man, we're reinstating the monster like right off the fucking bat.
Like, what a sick asshole bastard! Like guy, he clears out Sexy, and Superfly is there, and this dude literally just got unmasked. Big traumatic moment, and he's like, "Fuck you! I'm also gonna break your arm."
Oh my god, it was so fucking brutal. I was mad. I was like, you douchebag. It was horrible to watch.
It's probably the most quiet reaction Pentagon Jr. has gotten so far. Because as we talk about on this show, like, despite Pentagon's best efforts to be an evil bastard, everybody loves him anyway because blood for the blood god. And like he still got cheers after he did this, but they felt a lot quieter than they usually are.
I think because everybody fucking like feels for when that luchador has to unmask. And here you follow that insult with with injury, I guess.
With an injury, yeah.
With injury. And get a brutal, heart-wrenching moment out of the whole thing. And I think even that takes the hugely bloodthirsty audience aback a little bit.
A little bit.
Even if fucking Dario doesn't understand the significance, they do.
Mm-hmm. So he breaks Superfly's arm and he skedaddles before Sexy Star comes to kick his ass. But he's still like, I'm gonna get you too. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's very like, you're next, bitch. Like he's going hard on that.
Yep. So that's kind of a setup for a future plot line of like, Sexy Star must now avenge her friend.
Yeah,
from this evil motherfucker who's intent on just breaking everybody's arms.
All of their jobbers are refrigerated now. What the fuck? I really do want like Viva la Revolucion jobbers. Now they're all out. They gotta band together, dude.
Yep. Then we get to our main event. Prince Puma versus King Cuerno for the Lucha Underground title. And first, Puma comes out with his crew. Notably, Prince Puma comes out wearing I assume it's a Puma print, a Puma skin over his body in the similar way that King Cuerno wears his deer head.
Yeah, it was a very intentional like mocking of Cuerno.
It was. And Hernandez and Mundo kind of get along for now. Keep that in mind for later.
Yeah.
And then here comes the King Cuerno with his still wearing the deer head.
It was really funny too. Like there was a ton of fog and like his fucking deer head was like poking out over the fog.
Oh yeah, the fog was over the fog. So it's at certain points, all you could see was the deer head.
So good.
Yeah. And then Cuerno reveals his tag team partners. The man they call Cage.
Oh my god.
And Tejano.
Which, okay, hasty, kind of shitty main events last time are all forgiven. They clean slated. Now they're here to do something really cool. God damn it, fine.
Oh yeah, they kind of like fit perfectly together as a duo, I think. Like these just two bruising assholes.
They do really fit and fit well with Cuerno.
Mm-hmm. And we get this really cool stare down as everybody gets in the ring and just kind of like looks at each other right before the match starts.
Yeah, and it's an intense stare down. It is really cool to have the backup ringside, and of course they get used throughout the match for some fuckery, but like it's cool to have everybody just there. Like it feels like the setup to something huge. It was awesome.
So we get the match going, and it kind of fits a lot of what you'd expect from Cuerno and Puma. Mm-hmm. Puma works really well as kind of like the baby face who has to make a comeback, and Cuerno is the methodical, gonna beat you down slowly like a predator hunting his prey.
That is yeah, that's kind of his trademark. And Puma's fighting style is different enough from Mundo's that it does create a different dynamic from what we've been seeing from like Cuerno recently.
Cuerno's fighting a real animal this time.
Yeah, I was gonna say he must be very happy to not just be chasing like a dude in a fur coat, but like it's a real life Puma. No, but like it almost feels like this in some ways. Am I crazy, or did this feel like ever so slightly like less directly intense than like Mundo Cuerno did?
I think so, because I don't think there's any real beef between these two. Like Cuerno is here he's here for business. He's going for that title. Like the interpersonal drama here is solely focused on Hernandez and Puma. And the dissolution of that alliance pretty quickly.
Yeah, which like it's funny here because Hernandez acts as like a Conan stand-in, but a Conan stand-in who's actually like competitively viable.
Yeah, and also significantly more obnoxious in how he tries to get involved in things.
Yeah. Because he actually has a lot of like physical prowess on him that allows him to get a lot more directly involved.
Yeah, there was this cool moment early in the match where Puma and Cuerno are fighting on the outside, and Cuerno has Puma down. And so here you get Cage and Tejano run over to also put the boots to him. And of course, Mundo and Hernandez take forever to get over there to stop anything. And when they get over there, Cuerno drags Puma behind Tejano and Cage so he can continue to fuck with him. And then Tejano just grabs his bullwhip and starts whipping the ground to keep Mundo and Hernandez off, while Cuerno like does like this throat slice to Puma.
Yeah, he's really like role playing his future taxidermy of Prince Puma. I don't know why.
He's very excited to taxidermy Prince Puma.
But it does make for a great standoff between the extra boys.
Yeah. But
is that when the like Cage throwing Cuerno back in? No, that's later, right?
That was a little bit later.
Okay, yeah.
Because they had done like dive stuff on each other, and there was nobody left out there. But eventually, by the end of the match, it comes down. They do a bit where Cuerno has Puma up on his shoulders, and Hernandez and Cage jump up on the ring at the same time, where Cage is on the opposite side yelling at presumably Cuerno to not fight, to do this thing. But then Hernandez is like, "Hey, put him down."
They're clearly doing like a good guy, bad guy enforcer thing here. To great effect, because I don't know why I've really enjoyed seeing Mundo X Cage here, like as a not team up, as a clash. Those two clashing for some reason, I really enjoy it. So seeing them be the like jump up boys here and to be like, hey, put them down. Great moment. And Hernandez is just, being Hernandez.
Yeah. And so eventually they get down. Like Puma kind of the distraction lets Puma avoid getting hit with anything.
Yeah.
And they end up like hitting each other's guys in the corner. And then Puma is able to get an upper hand, and then he talks to Hernandez. He's like, "Hey, dude, like, I don't need your help. Back off. All right. I'm doing this myself." And Hernandez doesn't listen at all. Like, he continues to just insert himself into the match against whatever Puma's wishing for. And eventually Puma is able to hit the 630 anyway, and he does a cute little bit where he goes up to the top rope in the corner where Cuerno has his deer head planted, and he like kisses the nose of the deer head.
Wait, I totally missed that. That's adorable.
Oh yeah, it was a quick. It was a blink and you miss it moment, but I did notice. It's like, oh, that's cute. And then he hits Cuerno with a 630 and gets the win and retains the title. And then Hernandez gets in the ring and tries to like give him the belt, and Puma's like, "Dude, no, get back off. We are not friends."
Yeah, I know. He's really pissed that Conan's like forcing this friendship onto him.
Yeah, and Hernandez is like trying to hand him the belt, and he tries to raise his hand instead of the referee. And he's like, "Dude, no, go away." Like, and before that has a chance to really like blow over and get worse, Cuerno, Tejano, and Cage all kind of jump in the ring to start throwing hands because they still got a tag match against each other next week. And Mundo jumps in, and it all just kind of devolves into fighting as the show goes off the air.
Yeah, I do love that Cage popped into the ring with no shirt on. He's like, I gotta get involved.
Dude wore a tank top the whole match, and then at some point he took his shirt off.
Uh, um, uh, he just is like, he's like, I gotta Hulk out, shirt off, and of course it's attacked by fellow shirtless boy Johnny Mundo, because Johnny Mundo just fucking walked out here shirtless, because of course
Mundo never wore a shirt, that's fine.
He just loves having those pecs out. I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm. So a bit of a chaotic ending to the episode this week as we build anticipation to the trios match next week to decide the last team involved in the championship finals.
Yep. The final, we're moving towards something big kind of quickly, I think.
They explicitly are like a month-long tournament to kind of not make you think about how this is taking place over 4 episodes and has 4 matches.
Yeah, and again, as important as the championship, then why are we rushing this?
Yeah, there's not very many people involved here. And again, no crew, not the one actual trio that you had coming into this.
Maybe they'll show up later. I don't fucking
know. I'm certain they will.
Yeah.
So I think overall, pretty solid 2 episodes.
It was awesome. I really enjoyed this kind of 2-part set. Great story beats, great character beats, really fun matches. We're back to like Lucha at its finest.
Return to form.
Like 1 week kind of faltering, but like damn, it was good after that.
Yeah, return to form as we start the second half of season 1 going forward.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was awesome. I love this show so much it's so good. I love it here. I love Lucha. More, please, always, yes.
Yep. But for next time, we return to NWO, to WCW 1996 one last time, as we go to Hog Wild 1996.
Oh man.
We'll be live from the Sturgis Motorcycle Festival in North Dakota.
And really interesting locales with WCW.
We do get that. And it's time for the big match. Is the Giant is the WCW champion, and if we assume that being a champion is of significance in terms of power dynamics, and I guess we have to assume that's true, then he might be the last line of defense. Because Hollywood Hulk Hogan is coming for that title, brother.
Oh God. Oh man, I'm very excited.
Yep.
We're just hitting a lot of big beats with Hulk Hogan's career recently.
Yeah, this is the Hulk Hogan podcast now. Great.
Oh God. Oh, he's taking over. God damn it.
He's the New World Order is taking
the New World
over,
Organization,
brother. The New World Organization, of course. The New World Organization.
Yeah.
This podcast.
Yeah.
But until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. All right, my friends, my dear friends, thank you so much for joining us on yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. We are so happy to have you here. If you're a returning listener, viewer, what have you, thank you so much for being with us. Once again, welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, whatever. We just love that you join us week after week, and we hope you're having a great time. We're certainly having a great time. We just love having a great time together with everybody. If you are a first-time listener, viewer, what have you, welcome, my friends. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you are a first-time wrestling enjoyer or a long-time veteran of the fandom, we hope you feel welcome here. We hope you're having a great time with us. If you are and you would like to continue to have a great time with us and you're not entirely sure how to do so, well, not to worry, my friends. I have you covered. First of all, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get notifications every single time we drop a new episode. Like, comment, share, add us to your playlist. Check out our playlist on YouTube. All of our arcs that we follow are organized very kindly by Mr. Austin into nice little neat playlists. It's super cool. I love that it's there. And if you want to follow a certain era, a certain company, whatever, it's all right there, streamlined. It's phenomenal, and you can kind of like grow with us as our podcast goes. It goes from like early episodes to late episodes for some of these, Lucha especially. So be sure to check all of that out. You can also find us on audio-only formats if you don't like using your eyeballs for things like this. That's totally fine. We understand. That's why we are on 3 of the best places to find podcasts, which would be Spotify, Apple, and Google. Download us, rate us, whatever the fuck else you do on those platforms to let them know that we're super cool and that maybe people should listen more to us. Check us out. We are the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on all of those platforms. We hope to have you tune in and check us all out there as well. You can also find us on several different social media platforms. First and foremost being our Twitter. We are at Noobs and Knocks Pod on Twitter.com. That is Noobs, the letter N, Knocks Pod at Twitter.com. We post every single time we drop new episodes there. We interact with the broader fandom on a whole. We drop some dank memes. And of course, the highlight of our social media interaction, Austin live tweets his live wrestling viewing experience. My friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Of course. So, as usual, every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT is AEW Dynamite. If you're watching the video version, I'm wearing my AEW shirt right now to this episode tonight. And that's the most consistent live wrestling I watch every week. So I'm going to go ahead and live tweet. And hey, sometimes David might jump in too, as he did a couple weeks. He gave last week.
Last week it was awesome.
Yes, it's the last Saturday Dynamite. I was unavailable, and so David filled in. So he might get involved too. And then, of course, we have the pay-per-views of WWE, AEW, and Impact Wrestling. Upcoming on ahead of those is AEW has Full Gear, one of their annual 4 annual pay-per-views on November 13th. That is only a couple of weeks away. And oh boy, howdy, do we have a main event. Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW title. Hangman is winning the title, guys. You should definitely tune in to see Hangman win the title. It's really been 2 years.
Responsible, but even I'm considering dropping that $60 because it's going to be fucking amazing.
It's 2 years in the making. Meanwhile, a week after that, on November 21st, is WWE Survivor Series, one of WWE's big 4 pay-per-views because it's one of the original 4: WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. And in most recent years, it has become a gimmick to make it a Raw versus SmackDown themed pay-per-view, which is a little formulaic, but also it's actually pretty fun because you get to see matches between especially you get the champion versus champion matches. Like right now, you got Becky Lynch versus Charlotte among the 2 women's champions. You'd be looking at Big E versus Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion versus the WWE Champion, like really fun stuff. So even if it feels a little weird, some storyline wise, it's all a little dumb, but like the matches are gonna be lit. So definitely want to maybe take a look at that one. And then for Impact Wrestling, they also only have 4 pay-per-views a year, and they just got finished with Bound for Glory just this past week. So their next pay-per-view is not till January 8th with Hard to Kill. I'll be mentioning it for the next few months, but there's not really anything to talk about yet because they just got done with, as of taping this episode, they haven't even aired an episode of Impact Wrestling yet since their pay-per-view. So, I got nothing to talk about on that note. But that is what our Twitter live tweeting will be going forward.
So be sure to check all of that out. Austin's live tweeting is fucking awesome. He drops really great insights, really funny jokes, just generally good stuff all around. Be sure to check that out. I can certainly speak with experience when I say Austin is a phenomenal person to spend your time watching wrestling with, even if it's in a digital-only format. So be sure to check all of that out. You can also find us at our email address. We are noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word and this time, knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us. Come, just tell us what you think of the show, what you like, what you don't like, suggestions for more stuff coming up in the future that you might want to see, special episodes, arcs, anything of that nature. Generally telling us that you love to hear our sweet, sexy voices week after week after week, as you do. We love to hear it, no matter what. Just come say hi to us. We love saying hi. We would love to just have that interaction with our awesome fans.
Yeah.
noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. And finally, you can find us on Patreon. We are also the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon. $1 a month gets you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode.
See y'all next time.
Later.